Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. I am so glad that you're here. Welcome back to another market update for Arcane Rising, Flesh and Blood trading card game. Hope you're enjoying the Super Bowl right now is going on as I'm recording this. I'm not watching it, but tonight after the Super Bowl, I will be live streaming. We will be opening 2 boxes of Crucible of War for a patron. So make sure you hit that up right after the Super Bowl, 10 o'clock, probably around there, whenever the Super Bowl is over. We have a market update for you, though, of Arcane Rising. Before we get into it, thank you so much to my patrons. My patrons are what motivate me to keep going and doing this every week. So patrons get access to a collection tracker. And actually, this is brand new. This is the full collection tracker now. They also get individual trackers just like before, but these prices automatically update. And now you can track your entire value in one spreadsheet as well. We've also added Monarch stuff so that whenever Monarch comes out, it'll auto-populate. And we're set up for Kingdoms, and I also have promos on here that eventually I'll probably try to do like a monthly video, a monthly update on. So we've got a really great setup now. I really think we're kind of finally locking it in, and thank you so much to the patrons. You can go to the link in my description for that patron if you're interested. That's just $5 a month, gets you access to all that. It also gets you access to a bunch of other stuff, a Discord server. We're going to have a bunch of games. We're actually playing a game on Tuesday night. We're going to do an event. It's going to be a blast. So anyway, also shout out to Mitch at the Midtown Merchant. Mitch and Andrew have an amazing setup, a really beautiful singles site. The cards are beautiful. It's not like a singles to date. It's like anyway. Bad joke, dad jokes. All right, they also gave us a discount code, JustLove10. You can use that one time if you're a patron. We have a monthly discount code for you to save 10%. And then if you can't find the cards you want there, you can really support the channel by going to TCG Player and using the link in my description, and that really helps the channel. Unfortunately, it doesn't save you any money, so use the Midtown Merchant stuff first because that saves you some money. So, and Mitch is a great guy. We like to hang out and talk. All right, let's get into Arcane Rising. So Arcane Rising Unlimited. We're going to start with Unlimited. Booster boxes are really stable right now, sitting at 105, 112, readily available, and I know that supply is coming again. There's going to be a resupply in a couple weeks, so I really have a lot of faith in those prices holding. And if you want to take a look at the, we had that spike to 150, and I said, do not buy $150 booster boxes. And that was good because you'd be out $50 now. So, I think on the Facebook Marketplace, you could probably get them a little bit cheaper if you shopped around or if you traded or whatever. So just keep that in mind. But eBay kind of open market price TCG Player is sitting at around $110. Let's get to the Fabled, the Eye of Ophidia. I've got this at $650 again this week. That's 2 weeks in a row. We did have a $700 sale this week, but we also had a $600 sale this week. So I kind of just left it right in the middle. I've seen some of them on Facebook as well. There's some deals on there that are sitting in the same kind of price point. So I kind of averaged it out, sitting at around $650. Let's go ahead and move on to the legendaries. This week, no massive movements, but almost everything was just slightly up. Stormstriders actually was a massive movement. I did want to say that. Stormstriders up to $140 on TCG Player was sold. And I did see some other ones that sold for kind of around that price. So that kind of is seemingly where it's sitting at. The other ones are up just a couple bucks each. And then the skull cap is dropping down. We're going to talk about the the cold foil skull cap later on in the video because, there's just some weird things. I think I may have missed something with the cold foil skull cap. So we'll talk about that. All in all, though, your average legendary is sitting at about $140, which is up about 7% from last week. And you can see this nice line. We're still not up to where we were at the beginning of the year when boxes were a little bit more harder to find. But we are starting to trend up. We had 3 weeks in a row of downturns for the legendaries, and now we're trending back up. So let's go to the Majestic Rainbow Foils. Really no change at all this week. If you look at here, I'm on K if you want to look. Really no change at all. We had a couple bucks in the high octane, but really nothing else moved. Command and Conquer's up a little bit, and Art of War is down a little bit. All in all, though, your average is still sitting at $38, and these have been I've been very surprised to see how consistently priced the Rainbow Foil Majestics have been which is a testament to like just supply just being on the market and boxes being opened. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, they haven't really fluctuated much at all. So your average is sitting around $38 for the Majestic Foil Rare. Let's go ahead to the regular Majestics, and this one we're down a little bit. You know, we had a huge down tip at the, kind of in the middle of January, but now we've kind of evened out. We had one week where it was kind of even at all, and then we went up a little bit last week, and now we're down this week a little bit. So all in all, nothing major. Your Command and Conquer is still sitting around $60. Your Art of War is still sitting just above 20, and Mordred Tide is kind of the next highest value. Other than, sorry, I always forget about High Octane up there at the top. So you still have some of the, the Ranger ones aren't doing super well, but everything is holding the value, so nothing's really moving too much. All in all, you can see that's a nice little chart that a lot of consistency there in the last month. Let's go to the super rare rainbow foils. This week we had a 5% decrease. Compared to last week's 17 and the week before 18% decreases, that feels pretty good, but we lost a ton of value. Look at that grid over the last couple months, last 2 months, I guess, in that. So everything is kind of just down a tad. Nothing's down massively, but everything's just kind of down, 5%. Lots of cards being added. Remember, there's one of these in almost every box, as opposed to the Majestic Rainbow Foils that's one in every 4 box. So these are going to be a little bit more volatile. Volatile? They're going to have a little bit more volatility. I know that's a word. So just keep that in mind. And then let's get on to our super rares. You get 4 of these in a box. These have been kind of all over the place in the last couple weeks. We were up last week. This week we're back down. Again, no major, I don't really know what to tell you about it. There's no major change to any specific card. It's not like a new deck list came out that shot the price of a card skyrocketing. Although that's going to start happening, I think, in the next couple months as people start building decks, and if organized play comes back. I know we've already seen the calling decks, but it'll be interesting to see how that affects things. So we're down 8% this week. You can see the graph there. And now let's go ahead and show you what the rare rainbow foils are doing. Remember, I just use the lowest listed price on the rares. So on the rares, and then I kind of find any outliers and I take them out. But your average rare price is sitting at about $2.23, 32 cents. And that means that sellers have lowered their prices by 15%. And you can see, like, they just aren't really moving super well on TCG Player. Not a ton of sales. And so what happens is new buyers come in and then they undercut the market, and then somebody else undercuts the market. And it's just this constant undercutting of the market. And what you see then is that downwards trend until some people purchase the cards, which drives it up, but no one is really purchasing. I'm sure some people are purchasing the cards. My point is that not at the rate that people are listing the cards. So that's just what causes that. And the same thing for the rares, although I think the rares, no, they were down too. So your average rare is sitting at 31 cents. Your average foil rare is still sitting at like $2.32. But that, they were going up at the beginning of the year. So just keep that in mind. All right, common rainbow foils. Your kind of equipment also lost some value. The accelerator lost a couple bucks. Let's see, the bullseye's racers are down just a little bit. Chrono Dichotomy is down. Everything's losing a little bit of value on those. 9%, and that's 3 weeks in a row again of decreases on they're not cold foil. I wish the rainbow foil cards. And this is for all the commons, but a lot of that is driven by those equipment slots. You can see the trend. We had a little bit of uptick, and then we've kind of just dropped. Okay, let's go ahead to our EV calculation. So in each box, I just showed it to you, but in each box you get 42 rares, 4 foil rares, 4 super rares, 1 foil super rare, 2 majestics, a quarter of a foil majestic, because you get 1 in every 4 boxes, and then the same odds are for the legendary. And then you get a 1 in 40 chance at hitting a fabled. So if you were to open 40 boxes, you would get this average price because you include the fabled and all the legendaries. So you'd be sitting at $135.57. If you were to just open 1 box, your expectation should be that you get $84.22. And keep in mind that includes all these rares. So let's go ahead and compare that to last week. Last week we were sitting at $139.92. This week, all the cards combined 135.57, which means we've lost about 3% in value all along the way in all the cards. So that compares pretty well, though. If you're opening a case, that still is performing. You're still up, what is that, 20% compared to 110, add shipping. You're still up 15 to 20% if you buy a case of cards. So that's pretty dang good, in my opinion. It's where if you're buying one box that you kind of get out of luck. But all right, let's go ahead and go to the Arcane Rising First Edition. I just want to say, I want to highlight one thing. Number one, that these are all, what I'm sharing is, trying to share is facts and market data. And sometimes I have to share my opinions, and I'll share that there. But my real opinions I share in a podcast on my Patreon at the higher tier, because I want to keep this as factual as possible. And I also don't want you, I own 0 Arcane Rising First Edition cards. So I just want to throw that out there because there's some things that I missed in this video a couple weeks ago, and I just want to highlight those. But let's just start at the beginning. So sealed boxes. We had a huge, what is that? What happened there? The latest values there. Don't worry about it. So we just start here. We had a huge dip, and now we're on our way back up. I'm putting the boxes at 1650 this week. We had one sell earlier. Actually, this is just in the last 2 days. 1564, 1650, and 1627. This being an auction really made me feel like this is a more accurate market price. So that's where I wanted to go. My guess is that some people missed out in this auction, and so now they went to this auction and they drove the prices up. So just keep that all in mind. And now let's go ahead and go to the Eye of Ophidia. There was somebody who pulled an Eye of Ophidia in my Discord server this week. Sorry, not my Discord server. In our Discord server, in the Kitchen Table TCG Discord server, which was pretty fun to see. Everybody was going crazy. And then, okay, so I've got this. I'm going to keep this at the same price as last week. I'm going to show you why. There's currently one on Facebook for, I think his listing is 1100. 11,000. That makes it. Yeah, he's got this listed for 11,000. I just want to pop up and show you. There is some corner wear on it, and when I saw 11,000, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I had $11,000. That seems like a great deal right now. The front looks great, but there is just some of those cornering issues. And honestly, I am not in the market for an Eye of Ophidia, so I don't know how much I would knock off of value from the 1,400. So I don't know how to value like a near mint one based on this one. So I am just going to leave it currently for this week at 1450, about the same it was last, or 14,500, about the same as it was last week. And we can see what happens over the next week. So just keep that in mind. If you're in the market for an Eye of Ophidia, you should not be listening to me tell you what the price is. If you can afford a $14,000 card, you should be able to figure that out yourself. So, all right. Let's go to the Legendary EV. Okay, so this is where I've messed up. Let's start with the other stuff first. The Teklo Foundry Heart, the Skullbone, everything's sitting around the $1,300 range. There's been a few of those that sold on eBay. A lot of those are just listed not TCG Player, on Facebook. It doesn't seem like anybody's budging in the prices. And I have seen that some that have ended up moving at those prices after a couple days. So that's where I'm keeping those prices kind of in the $1,300 range. Now I want to talk about the Arknight Skull Cap because I want to be transparent and let you know that I definitely missed something. I had this priced at $2,000 on the 10th and the 17th and the 24th. And if you today when I was doing the sales stuff, I was looking everything up. I was like, what did I miss here? Because this is the 27th, $900, and the 30th for $1,000. And so I don't really know what happened. Honestly, maybe I have no clue, to be honest with you, how I missed it. Maybe I spelled it wrong or something when I was doing it on 130 point. But I definitely missed it that week. And so I definitely wanted to let you know that I missed it. And so that these prices were probably wrong. So when you see, I don't know. And then I looked on Facebook, and it seems like the going rate that people are trying to get is between like the $1,400 to $1,600 range. So I don't know. Again, if you're buying these cards, you need to make sure you're doing your own research. I'm doing my best, but I do make mistakes, and I don't want you to think that this is like gospel. So all in all, your cold foil legendaries have lost just about 2% value, but a lot of that might be due to me putting this at 1800 last week, and it really shouldn't have been that high. So that being said, you can kind of see the trend line. We're still trending down. It baffles me, honestly. I'm sharing my opinion right now, but it baffles me that we're still trending down on those cards. Okay, that's the legendaries. Let's go ahead to the cold foils. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about, so maybe don't listen to my opinions. All right, let's go to the cold foils. All in all, we're down again this week, about the same we were last week. Now, I do want to say that a lot of the prices, so I start on eBay, and then I go to TCG Player, and then I go to Facebook, and then I go to Discord. Usually I can't find much on Discord, but usually the prices as I'm inserting them drop in that order. So usually on eBay I find higher prices, so just keep that in mind. I use on these ones, what I try to do is like the lowest price I can find, and what happens is that somebody will come along on Facebook Marketplace and maybe they haven't really done their research well enough, and that will drive the price down. So again, make sure you are comfortable with however you are doing your cards and your prices. So all in all, I found listings under about $144. $141 is about the average price of these cold foils. Again, there are some outliers, like this Bullseye's Bracers sold for $100. Like that seems like an outlier to me based on the other ones, but that is like the data. So I'm just trying to provide you the facts of what happened and what I saw in the marketplace this week. Talismanic Lens at 130. That one was actually up. Vest of the First Fist was actually up this week. Bracers of Belief went down to 120. A lot of the other ones kind of stayed the same. Null Rune Hood, went up by $20. All in all, again, we're just down 9%. Nothing to really be worried about. This is a lot of people just, if you think about it, $165. Oh, hey, I can get half a box of Monarch or whatever I want to get, and they're able to move their, to finance some stuff. So that's a lot of what's happening. So the weaker hands are letting go, and they're giving the cards to the diamond hands who are going to hold them for the long-term profits. So we had a spike, and now we are going back down. All right, let's go ahead and get to the Majestic Rainbow Foils. I was only able to find 2 sold that I could find in all of those places. Again, it's just kind of crazy right now this week. The amount of data for Arcane is always less than WTR and is way less than Crew. So just keep all that in mind, that some of these prices could be outdated and could quickly change based on 1 or 2 sales. We've seen this with WTR, that a card sells for $600 and it drives all the other cards up to that price. So just keep that in mind. Sonic Boom, let's see, what one do I want to talk about? Arcanite Skullcap. No, it's Art of War that I wanted to talk about. Let's go back to that. Art of War, Sonic Boom, I don't remember where that was, but that was the same price as last week we sold. I think it was Facebook. Art of War for $636 even. That actually ended about 20 minutes ago. Ended at 5. That ended at like 3 hours ago. So, and it's $636. That was all auction. So that seems to be the new kind of price for that, which is up a little bit from last week. I did see some this one sold for $400. That's what I wanted to talk about. This one sold for $400, and that was a best offer. So I just wanted to say, make sure if you're accepting offers that you really think about the offers you're accepting, because this guy lost out on $236 because he accepted that offer. So, all right, let's go ahead and look. These are just kind of trending up, kind of slowly now. We kind of evened out, and they're kind of just slowly trending up. The regular Majestics, we are losing value in. All these green are sold listings on TCG Player. Command and Conquer and Art of War was not TCG Player. This was one of those Facebook sellers who I would not sell a card for these prices. If I own these cards, I would not sell them at these prices, because 3 weeks ago, they were selling at $275, and now people there are sold offered available cards for $130, and the thing is, they're going to sell like that. So just keep that in mind. But there were 2 of them, so I couldn't just call it an outlier. This was 2 individual different people selling for around $130 to $145, $150 each. I don't know what to tell you. I would not have sold it for those prices, but I'm just trying to provide you the facts. So Art of War, $80, same thing. All these other listings sold were on TCG Player. So all in all, we lost 16%, and these are just kind of going down. I mean, we're at the same prices we were kind of, even we went down there too. I don't know. Anyway, That's the line. You can look for it yourself and make your own decisions. The super rare rainbow foils, these green ones were sold listings on TCG Player. We're up 3%. Again, those are pretty even keeled to what we saw last week. No giant movements. Remember last week we saw a ton of these sell, and it was kind of like, is this real? Actually, I had 2 people reach out to me and say, hey, I was the seller of those cards, and it was confirmed. It was an actual sale, so pretty interesting to see that. And then we had 3 more sales this week, so those are starting to move. And we were up 30%, and then this week we're up 3%. So huge growth in those super rare rainbow foils. The regular super rares also had some growth this week. Some just big sales on TCG Player. Some of those lower ones moved down, and then the next one sold. So Knock the Death Whistle at 15, Forked Lightning at 15, Lesson in Lava at 11, Tome of the Aether Wind at 7, and Pursuit of Knowledge at 8. All in all, a 9% increase. Your average super rare sitting around $10. Your average foil super rare, sorry I didn't say it, it's sitting around $100, and your average majestic is sitting at $43. So the rare rainbow foils sellers have, remember I just list the TCG low on these, sellers have increased by about 3%. So this is 2 weeks in a row. I do know people are starting to fill out their collection. I see that all the time on Facebook. So if they can't find it on Facebook, they just end up buying it on TCG Player and finishing the collection. So it looks like sellers are starting to run out of cards or whatever's happening. The rare, you can see the graph there. The rares sellers have in the last, just look at that. Think about it. Nobody needs them. Anybody who's playing the game already has rares from Unlimited. They're not going to buy a more expensive first edition rare, probably. Anybody who's doing set collecting probably already has the regular edition rares, so they don't need to buy them, right? Like, it just makes sense. All right, let's get to the common rainbow foils. We're up 4%. That's pretty even keeled there. And then the commons, everything's sitting about 80 cents. Your average common rainbow foil is at $4. All right, EV calculation, same thing applies. Remember, your box EV is at $15.85. That includes all the cards, every single card, commons, fabled. If you open 40 boxes, your average price will be $15.85. If you take out the non-foil commons, right? Because, if every common is sitting at 80 cents, that's a lot of commons. So if you take those out, it's at $13.74.45. But if you are only opening 1 box, so you take out the common non-foil commons, you take out the legendary, and you take out the fabled, your price will sit around $672. So let's go ahead and look at the EV chart compared to last week. We're just down about 2% over last week in that chart. I hope that, sorry, this was a little bit of a long video, but I hope that you enjoyed the market update. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you'd like access to a collection tracker and all this data, please let me know. Join the Patreon. It's in the description. I hope you have a great day. Make sure you join for the live stream right around 10 o'clock after the game. I'm going to get that set up right now. Hope you're doing well. We'll see you later.